What's good? Welcome back. We did a video a couple of weeks back, which you can see on your screen, talking about LLKKF, Lake Resources. And in this video, we covered a lot of catalysts why I believe that this stock is definitely going to do well this year. We talked about the demand for battery grade, high purity lithium. We talked about China raising the spot price. We talked about their mining projects in Argentina, particularly the Lithium Triangle. We talked about Australia being the largest global producer. We talked about their clean technology extraction process through their technology partner, Lilac Solutions, which is a Bill Gates backed venture. And then we basically summed up that I personally feel I think it's going to be a good play for this video, for this stock. So if you haven't actually seen that, please go check out this video. It's only 5 minutes long and it'll give you some of the context around Lake Resources as a company. Now, since then, the stock hasn't been trading that well. It's been trading relatively sideways or negatively, depending on when you obviously got into the stock. And that's been relatively for two reasons. One of the reasons is that there's been quite a negative sentiment in the market due to the unemployment data that came out in the US. And so quite a lot of the stocks that I personally hold have been bearish over the past couple of weeks. The second reason, which is more particularly focused around Lake Resources, is the fact that this stock, for many people, was in close only mode on many brokers. And what that basically means is that if you was already in the stock, you could sell it. But if you wasn't in the stock, you couldn't buy it. And obviously, we need people to buy the stock in order for the share price to increase. And if that's not happening, then naturally speaking, you're either going to see a flat trade or you're going to see it go down. Now, the reason why it was in close-only mode is still a bit of a mystery, but that has been lifted. So that's been fixed, and we're seeing that people are able to buy the stock now, which is really positive. The actual positive thing I wanted to share with you today is that there has been a buy rating for this stock that's been given by one investment firm. And they've given a price increase of 60 cents, Australian cents. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick recap. What you can basically see here is ticker symbol LKE, and you can see ticker symbol LLKKF. Now, a lot of companies that we all know and love, Tesla and many companies around the world, even like Barclays Bank as an example, they will list on multiple exchanges around the world. The reason why they do this is because they want to get localized investments from those communities. So rather than just have everything in one currency, they will list on multiple exchanges, because for some countries, changing money and converting money can be really, really expensive. So because they want to actually get investments from people in different countries, they list on different exchanges around the world. So that being said, this is an Australian business, so their primary exchange is the Australian market. So when you see news updates, you might see it based on LKE. However, the majority of the world will be traded US, the US market, which is going to be the LLKKF ticker as well. So what you can basically infer from that is that any news you see around LKE is the same that you can kind of consider for LLKKF, is kind of the long and short of it. Now, for LKE, what you can see here is that Roth Capital Partners has initiated a buy rating, and they've basically said they've given a 60 Australian US dollar cent price target for the stock. So you can see that currently it's closed the week at 0.36. So from 0.36 to 60 is a 66% uplift. And if you're looking at LLKKF, which is the one that I'm actually buying, you'd expect that to be around 44 to 45 cents. If you're actually just basically saying the same 66% uplift, which is what I personally would strongly believe would happen. Now, why are they doing this? They're basically saying that we believe LK is on the cusp of developing its catchy project, and that the company's assets should trade at a premium due to the low environmental impact of its process. So that Lilac Solutions, that digital extraction process, the reason what sets them apart from other mining firms, and the reason why they actually don't really consider themselves a mining company, is their technology and the way they actually extract lithium. And that's one of the key differentiators from this stock to other lithium miners that are out there. And it's not to say other lithium miners aren't good in any way, shape or form. I'm just purely focusing on one of the key benefits of LKE, which sets them apart from other miners. And because of that, additionally, we believe there is significant upside for the company through exploration at its other assets as well. Now, what it mentions here is that a cleaner lithium production process. We believe that as the demand for EVs increases, it is likely consumers will become focused on the entire supply chain of a car that they're purchasing. This is something that I mentioned in many, many videos. I talked about it in the Genuine Impact panel, so shout out to everyone that was on that. And I talked about that. I don't directly always look at commodities in isolation. isolation, but I might invest in a commodity or a commodity related business if it's in an industry that I believe is going to do well. And obviously I believe the EV industry is going to do well. And one of the key commodities that's going to help supply that and fuel that is obviously lithium. So this is the reason why you can look at lithium businesses and see that potentially there's a lot of increase and upside to this stock over the next coming year. We believe EV manufacturers see this demographic shift on the horizon and have begun to look to invest in lithium production from sources that have the lowest environmental impact. So they want to see lithium production, but ones that have the lowest impact, which LLKKF or LKE, depending on how you're looking at it, is definitely one of those options. We believe this will lead to significantly higher valuations for lithium companies that either have a low impact production process or that are located in first world countries that require higher environmental standards. We also believe that the process Lake Resources is planning to use at Kachi is one of the lowest environmental impacts possible based on the currently available technologies. We discuss this further in detail later in this report. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole report because I don't want to bore you, but this is the key catalyst that I believe is naturally going to help LLKKF achieve this 66% uplift. Now, typically price targets are on a 12-month basis, but what you'll find is that as more information comes out, as more things happen across the year, price targets always get continuously reviewed. So even though it's 6 months, I would naturally expect that this price target would be reviewed on at least a quarterly basis. And you find that investor sentiment on price targets tends to, probably actually go a bit further than the price target. So price targets sometimes tend to be quite conservative, and investor expectation tends to go a little bit higher than the price target. What they're basically saying here, I'm not going to go into all of this information, but normally they give a 30 to 50% increase in premium of evaluation. But for LLKKF or LKE, they're giving a 60%. And again, it's all based on the information that they mentioned prior. And here, obviously, they talked about, lithium prices before 2019 was quite low, but now because obviously the demand is diminishing, which obviously, the supply is diminishing and obviously the demand is increasing, that naturally is going to have an effect on the price of lithium overall, which is going to benefit this company. So yeah, I want you guys to see this. Obviously, I know some of you guys since that video have bought LLKKF and probably have been like, it's not been doing well for the past couple of weeks, and probably seen other stocks do okay. I'm still personally very bullish on the stock. In fact, next week I'm going to increase my position on LLKKF. I had an initial position. I'm definitely going to look to increase that position next week. And I still think that lithium as a whole, this industry as a whole, is definitely one to watch. I obviously can't give you, an actual recommendation, say it's definitely going to do, fantastic this year. But my personal belief, based on the information that I've seen, I think it's going to do well this year. And I definitely think it's one to look at. So yeah, I wanted to give you that information. Hopefully you found this video useful. Like, comment, subscribe. Preemarket, I'm out.